I just got done, like, weeping uncontrollably, like I have been lately, like, just releasing all these feelings, right? Okay. As of, like, this week, I was on a bipolar antidepressant called Latuda, and then it has a generic form. Latuda is like $1,000 a month, okay? I am on Wisconsin insurance. They switched me over to Lurasidone, which is like the generic kind. There are 2 different manufacturers of the generic kind of Latuda. The first manufacturer, it was at a very inopportune time. It's never a great time for this to happen, but I woke up and that's like why I'm having a hard time because my body is not like where I want it, and I would never bitch because that is so unattractive when a girl is like, oh, I don't like the way that my body looks. It's just like you're fishing for compliments or something like that, but I still work out, and it's just like, oh, I was on the stupid Lurasidone. But the first manufacturer, like way back, like a year ago, they switched me, like the insurance company switched me over to the Lurasidone. It had me wake up in the middle of the night and like eat like 3 or 4 times. And like, I didn't want to do that. And I still don't want to do that. What happened was like a few weeks ago, like, and then the second manufacturer, okay, that was the first manufacturer was the one where I was eating uncontrollably. And okay, so I finally figured it out that was what it was, because I didn't know why. So they had, well, let's try a different drug manufacturer to give you the Lurasidone. And that one was working for like a long time. But then I ran out of it one day, and I went down to the pharmacy and I said, like, I feel like I need it, because like when I didn't have my Latuda, and this is like and I know that I'm not the only one, because like they've been doing this to people's insurance. Okay, when I didn't have my Latuda, like a few years ago, like when my mom and dad died, like things were really weird, and like people in my family, I'm just telling you, have been like signing my name, like, and selling things, like selling like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of property and like not asking me. And that's like, some things get like really spooky when like someone signs your name like on official documents and stuff. Like sometimes that happens. I found this out later because my cousin has a big mouth. And she's like, do you know that like so-and-so, like this cousin particularly, sold like 50 acres of your property? And I'm like, well, you know what? He's really not supposed to do that because it belongs to me. And that means that if that happened, he signed my signature without my permission. And this particular cousin also said, because she has a big mouth, she told my grandma, I'll get back to the Lurasidone thing, that, oh, we're going to sell Lolly's house, the house that I live in, the house that my mom and dad paid their mortgage off, like right before they passed away, so that I would inherit this house. They're all plotting. They're like, oh, you know, they didn't, they told grandma, they're like, oh, we're going to sell Lolly's house. And I'm still living here, okay? And then I told my cousin, I'm going to get back to the Lurasidone thing. I told my cousin that, like, well, Nana told me that you were doing that. Like, you can't do that. And she's like, well, Nana's a shit starter. Nana's a shit starter. She's insane or, like, whatever. Like, and that's how they killed her. I know this has nothing to do with Lurasidone. I'm a little stressed. But you know what I've got? Do you know what I've got? Do you see what I've got? Do you see it? Anyway. I hate to say this, the same like cousin, like I don't want to build on my farm because it's nature, And he sold all that property. Oh, this has nothing to do with Lurasidone. He sold all that property by like signing my signature. And like they said, Laura Lee, like, you need to get on disability. You'll get $800 a month. They think I'm like mentally ill. They think I'm like insane. I'm like, I'm like the only person that understands like any of this farm business. Like, I went to the credit union with my mom and dad for like every single farm thing that they ever did. And like, I know like what to do. They know nothing. And my mom, oh God, I know, like, I'm telling you this. My mom made the decision before she died, like, and if my dad was alive, my dad died first. If my dad was alive, this never would have happened. This never would have happened. She signed, like, my cousin as the executor of, like, her will and all this stuff. So I have, like, a conservatorship. It's like, free lolly, free lolly, free lolly. I hope so. Like, I'm, like, in between, like, a rock and a hard place right now. And then my medication is all, like, fucked up, too. Okay. Boy, I'm glowing. You see, it's pretty. Wendy Williams always say, don't wipe your tears, like, blot them, because, like, there's enzymes in your tears that make you look beautiful, like, and, like, make you look young forever. So, like, fucking us whitewater people will never age. I don't know what I was talking about. Something about how, like, oh, they said you need to go. And I'm like, I am not disabled because, you know what? I took care of my mom and dad that were disabled. Like, my mom was an amputee. She had no leg. I know I told this story before. My dad, like, couldn't use his arm and he couldn't walk, and I had to, like, take care of them for, like, almost 7 years. And my family, like, that is trying to, like, sell because they want the money. And, like, they did, like, or manslaughter my grandmother for the money. And I just wrote a police report saying that, like, they need to investigate for forgery and that, like, anyway. This is what's going on with me, but I've got the mat. I've got the mat, you know? So we're at 7 minutes. Okay, then the second, like, Lurasidone, I ran out. So he's like, well, do you want to take just, like, one pill of the other manufacturer's Lurasidone, like, to get you through the day? Because, like, if I don't have the Latuda or whatever, I was seeing shadow people. I was seeing hallucinations. I was hearing shit in my head for years. And it's, like, terrifying. And I'm like, you know what? Before I ever took this Latuda or this Lurasidone, I never had those kind of, like, psycho, like, side effects. I took it the other day, the other generic Lurasidone. When I took it, it was like, indeed, like in my fucking head, like all the time, Laura Lee, indeed, right? Oh, I hated it. And I'm like, okay, I can't ever take that again. I know this is a really confusing story. So I went to the other manufacturer again, and there wasn't the indeed shit, Laura Lee. Oh, yes, you know, like, like it was really like, well, I took it. I was like, what the fuck is this? So I took the other one, like I had always been taking, and then the compulsive eating started, but like the voice, like the like wasn't there. So then for the last week, I have not been taking my Latuda or Lurasidone at all. And I asked my psychiatrist, I'm like, well, switch me back to the regular Latuda. My insurance will pay for it. He did not fill out the paperwork to reinstate my Latuda for like the $1,000. I outgrew it. I've been to Tinley Park mental health hospital, like the weird, like spooky. It wasn't that spooky, but it was like an Air Force thing. And maybe I wasn't there. Like I can't find my paperwork. And now it's like closed and everything. It's like people go and like do like ghost stories and shit there. All right, it's at 9 minutes. I outgrew, because of all that, I outgrew the Latuda and the Lurasidone, and I'm doing all right. That's all I'm trying to say. All right, peace.